Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys my dream cast for the live action Lion King movie that Disney recently announced the other day. So I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of do this just for the fun of it because I was thinking about doing something like this for a while now. A dream casting thing, my casting choices, who I would cast if I was the casting director of this movie. And someone on the comment section of my Lion King video yesterday, the announcement that Disney made, someone said, hey, you should do your casting, who you would cast as these characters. And that got me to say, well, I was already thinking it, might as well. So here we go. I am going to do this. I'm going to tell you guys who I think should play these characters. For young Simba and young Nala, I decided to go with a couple of kid actors that I thought, who are some really talented kid actors right now that could probably pull this off. And of course, when you think kid actors, you gotta go with the kids from Stranger Things. So obviously I went with Miley Bobby Brown for the role of young Nala, and Finn Wolfhard, who played Mike, in the role of young Simba. Obviously these two kids had good chemistry together in Stranger Things, and I think it would be fun for them to have a little bit more fun with their roles, because let's face it, Miley Bobby Brown as Elle in Stranger Things was kind of emo-ish. She wasn't a happy-go-lucky kid. But maybe with a different role like this as Nala, a more fun approach, more playful approach, especially with her co-star from Stranger Things, who she had a romantic connection with in that show. I think it would be interesting to see that heard, I guess, in this case, in the Lion King movie, and Simba and Nala need to have that playful relationship in the film. As Sarabi, before I continue, Sarabi, people are probably wondering, like, who? Sarabi is the name of Simba's mother in the original animated film, and if you were going to add a character who needs to be the mother of the main character, you need to cast somebody, who's strong, because there is a moment in the original animated Lion King movie where Sarabi does go up to Scar, and she's a very strong character because Scar even bitch slaps her right after, and you're like horrified. And who would you cast? Somebody that has to have that strong voice that can sound like she's not worried about anything. She's only worried about her people, because she is the queen of Pride Rock, I guess, right? Because her husband was killed, but she still has to have that tough attitude to go up against her brother-in-law. And for me, that would be Meryl Streep. The woman can do no wrong. She's an Academy Award winner. People are sometimes, even when she does an acting role, people are just saying, okay, fine, just give her the award already anyways, because we know she's gonna win it. So yes, cast her as Simba's mom, Sarabi. Maybe she'll still win an Oscar just for doing a voice, who knows. Next, I got the three hyenas, and I'm kind of cheating here because I made a promise that I wouldn't cast anybody from the original animated film to be in this film. But I cheated. I went with one of the actors, and this is where I decided to go with. For Shenzi, I picked Jenna Malone. Some of you might remember her from the Hunger Games franchise. I think, Shenzi apparently is a woman, because in the original film, I always thought it was a boy hyena, but apparently it was a woman, because Whoopi Goldberg did the voice of Shenzi. And I looked it up, and yeah, apparently Shenzi is the female. Apparently groups of hyenas, I guess, have one female always leading them. The females are the leaders, as usual. And I cast Jack Black as Bonsai. And the one I cheated with is Jim Cummings as Ed. Ed was the dumb hyena. And the reason why I'm going with Jim Cummings is because Ed doesn't talk. He makes grunts, he makes laughing sounds, And that's about it. And to me, there's no point getting a big name actor to, come in and laugh and do grunts. I mean, unless you're Marvel and you want to cast Vin Diesel saying the same line over and over, just in different ways. I mean, fine, go for it, I guess, right? But sometimes we need to have those actual voice actors, the one who are trained to work in that voice acting industry, to give them roles too, And I think Jim Cummings is one that, he could do this easily. He's done it before. He's done it several times in some of the Disney projects that use the hyenas time and time again. So it's a no-brainer to just let him continue to do the voice of Ed, with these other two bigger name actors doing the voices of the other two hyenas who actually do say most of the lines. For Zazu, I have Martin Freeman. This is going to make a little bit more sense as we go through the rest of the characters. But yes, Martin Freeman as Zazu to me is just a no-brainer. You need somebody smart, but somebody that can be fooled also. And plus, you need that British accent that Zazu has in the original film. Now, I wouldn't have mind bringing Mr. Bean back. Mr. Bean did the voice of Zazu in the original Lion King film. But like I said before, I didn't really want to bring anybody from the original film back for this one, because then I'd be bringing back almost 75% of them. And so I went with Martin Freeman because I felt he already represents what Zazu is. He's played Watson, and that's how I see Zazu, as this smart guy, but he can get a little ruffled once in a while. Next, I have Chiwetel Ejiofor as Rafiki. To me, it was hard to cast Rafiki, and I wanted to cast somebody wise and smart, and someone who really can bring Simba, because there's a moment in the original Lion King movie where Simba has this moment where Rafiki talks to him and makes him realize why he should go back. And I mean, you can find a lot of actors that can fill that role, but I really wanted that voice like the original Rafiki used to have. And that's a tough voice to find. So I went with Chiwetel Ejiofor because there is a scene in 2012. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. 2012, terrible movie. But there is a really good scene with Chiwetel Ejiofor in that movie. It's probably the only scene I like in the film, where he gives a speech about humanity. And how, what is the point of humanity if we're just gonna, let those people out there die? And I think he can come up with a very convincing tone that can help Simba go back. And that's why I chose Chiwetel Ejiofor for the voice of Rafiki. I just think it's good casting in a role that's really hard to find the right person to be there. I think Chiwetel Ejiofor, though, can fill it. Maybe he'd play it a little bit differently, but I think you can find that voice for him with that actor. For Timon and Pumbaa, I really wanted to find actors that were really funny and that have good chemistry together as well. And there's a lot of good comedic duels, I guess, that have worked together. And the one that popped into my mind right away was Will Ferrell as Timon and John C. Reilly as Pumbaa. These two were together in a couple of movies. I think Step Brothers is the one that people really like them in the most. And so that's why I picked Will Ferrell as Timon and John C. Reilly as Pumbaa. To me, it will obviously be a little bit different, I think, from the original Timon and Pumbaa, but they're a great team together. You can't deny that. There's a lot of great comedic, teams, but I think this one would suit these characters the best. And Will Ferrell would totally be very different from Nathan Lane's Timon from the original animated film. But I would watch it. I would see what he would bring. Hopefully they don't make Timon scream, though, if they do use Will Ferrell. But I would like to see it. I would like to see Will Ferrell as Timon and John C. Reilly as the voice of Pumbaa. I think it would be interesting. Obviously, you need Simba to have a girlfriend, which is Nala. And for Nala, I went with a choice that Jon Favreau already used in the Jungle Book as Mowgli's, I guess, wolf mother, Lupita Nyong'o. And I think it just makes sense to cast her. She's a great actress, and she's played, a lot of motion capture. For Star Wars Episode 7, she was in 12 Years a Slave, which was a great movie. I think what sold me on it was the fact that she played the mother in the Jungle Book. This would be obviously a different role for her because she's not the mother of the main character. She's now the love interest of the main character, and why not? I think she could do a great job. She's already proven herself to be a great actress that can play different roles. And yeah, I'd like to hear her in a role like this. I think it would be really nice for her to play the leading lady in the second half of the movie, I guess. Now we get to the big three, and for Mufasa, this was a tough one because when I think of Mufasa, I think of James Earl Jones doing the voice. And so I thought, who could be a very good father figure? And there was a part of me that thought Liam Neeson at first, but then I remembered Liam Neeson did the voice of a lion in Chronicles of Narnia as the voice of Aslan. So I'd just be like, might as well just do another Chronicles of Narnia with Aslan as... no, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to typecast Liam Neeson as a lion. I was going to cast him as Scar, but then I changed him also from that. I'll get to that one next. So who would be a good father figure? Who would do a good job as this voice? And I remembered there was a movie that I really love that a lot of people are kind of mixed on called Man of Steel, where Russell Crowe played Jor-El. And to me, that's it. That's my Mufasa. Russell Crowe as Mufasa. Ding. I like it. It's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. He can do that fatherly figure, give good advice to his son, and then he can die. And, and then we can all cry. As the voice of Scar, like I said earlier, just a few seconds ago, I was going to put Liam Neeson here because I did want to hear evil Liam Neeson. We never really seen Liam Neeson play bad before. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and then it popped into my mind literally just a few seconds before I started filming this video. Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch has already proven he can play really good, conniving, smart villains. And, with Desolation of Smaug, he did the voice of Smaug. And he played Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. So it just makes sense to me that this guy is a no-brainer for Scar. I gotta pick him for Scar. But yes, if I had a second choice, I would pick Liam Neeson. Finally, I have Simba, the main star of this movie. And who am I going to cast as him? I was originally thinking of Leonardo DiCaprio as the voice of Simba. But then the more I thought about it, the more I think Leonardo DiCaprio can pull it off. The guy's an Academy Award winner now. We've seen him do everything to get that Academy Award, from Wolf of Wall Street, The Departed, everything, But then it dawned on me even more, there's something about his voice that just doesn't ring Simba to me. And then I thought, Ryan Gosling. Why not? Ryan Gosling, I think, could really pull it off. Simba needs to really have a nice heart, a good heart, nice soul. He needs to be, someone that, when he finds out that Scar killed his father, was the one that actually killed his father, he needs to have that remorse for Scar. Because there is a little bit of him that didn't really want to kill Scar at the end of the original Lion King. He actually said to Scar that, look, I want you to go away, Scar, and never come back. He was saying the same exact thing to Scar that Scar did to Simba when he was a little boy. And I can see Ryan Gosling really fitting that role. Why? because he's a Canadian, and us Canadians are big-hearted people. We have big hearts. We forgive, even though we don't forget, and we punish people, but in very decent ways where people don't get hurt. Like, we send them far off into the desert. And that's why I picked Ryan Gosling as Simba. Well, that's not all. And also because I don't know, I can hear his voice for Simba. He's like Matthew Broderick, but with more emotion. No, Matthew Broderick did good. I liked him as the original Simba. But yes, Ryan Gosling as Simba, it would be amazing. That's my cast, guys. Tell me what you think. Did you like my choices for The Lion King, or do you think there are better choices out there? Do you think I should have went with some different choices? Some other choices, like for Timon and Pumbaa, I was thinking Jon Favreau for the voice of Timon originally, and Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays the Kingpin in the Daredevil Netflix series, as the voice of Pumbaa. But then I decided, you know what? Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly just makes more sense. And yeah, some of the other choices that I told you guys about, like Liam Neeson as Scar or Leonardo DiCaprio as Simba, do you think I should have kept it as some of those ones, or do you think the list that I came up with is perfect already? Let me know in the comment section below. Give me your choices on who you would pick as some of these iconic characters from these films. And until next time, guys, like this video, subscribe to my channel. You know the drill. I'll put some links in the description box below so you guys can check out other videos and whatnot. Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And until next time, guys, take care.